All right, welcome in. Happy Thursday. Can you believe it? It's August the 6th, which means football is back. The NFL is back. Hall of Fame game here tonight. We're going to break that down for you. We're going to talk some college football win totals. We'll have some NFL awards market conversations, predictive markets, parlay of the day, sharp bets. Enjoy the last of the Prez free zone here because, yes, there is a nasty rumor going around, Art the Caesar, that the Prez will somehow show up here tomorrow. I'm still banking on but if he does show up, we might as well enjoy what we got going on here today. And what we've got is football here tonight, which, listen, are we going to watch a lot of that game? Likely not, but it's just going to be nice to be able to, flip through the channels and be like, oh, the NFL is back, and that's exactly what it is. How did it go last night, though, for the books? Let's start there, Art. Was it Yankees lost? Dodgers lost again, so it must have been a pretty good day for the books yesterday.
It's got to be, especially when people keep loading back up on the Dodgers, right? I mean, they're on this losing streak, and people are just blind, especially the public, to Dodger money, Dodger lines. They don't care, especially when they're going to throw them in parlays. But you mentioned it, Joe, to have the NFL back, and just even if you watch a half a quarter or a quarter, to hear the sounds of football back, this being the number one thing on our rundown today, the NFL Hall of Fame game, we're there, man. So it's really nice to have.
It really, truly is, man. It's good to have some football back. We had some day games yesterday in Major League Baseball. We got more day games, one underway already, Art, I think, with Baltimore and the Angels, two teams going nowhere quickly. And I did take the under in this game here as well. So getaway game, by the way. Both teams are on their way out the door as soon as this game is done, Art. I believe the Angels are heading to Miami. I think Baltimore is heading to Texas, or vice versa, somewhere along those lines. Either way, this game will take about an hour and 10 minutes with guys swinging at everything to get me the hell out of here. But let's talk about the NFL game coming up here tonight. And listen, don't get crazy. We mentioned it yesterday, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, you got guys who bet preseason football. Most of the guys that I know usually only jump in on the second halves because once they have a pretty good idea on who the quarterbacks are and what the rotation is going to be, most of these games are always decided in the second half. So it would be pretty good to have an idea of who's under center when the game matters and when the game is decided the most. Tonight, Pickett is starting, I believe. He's going to be your starting quarterback I can't even believe it, for Carolina. But then it's going to be Haynes King, former Georgia Tech quarterback there. And then I believe we know Carson Beck and Slovis is going to be the two quarterbacks for Arizona tonight. I don't know. What are we seeing in the market here? We have seen actually some movement and some money coming in.
Yeah, it's funny. When you get to like next week with the preseason, numbers get up, they move quickly. This Hall of Fame game's been up for months.
Crazy.
It feels like this market has been there for the last 2 or 3 months. Carolina -135. Total's gone down a little bit because that always happens with these Hall of Fame games. But I will note, like the last 3 or 4 have gone over what this number is tonight at 35. We haven't had a really low scoring one since 2021 when you had a 16-3 game. So, the old adage is, all these Hall of Fame games go under. Well, hasn't been the case these last couple of years. Feels like there's a little bit of Panther money, but it's not overwhelming. When you get to this, you made a great point. Second half bets, even people who are going to maybe attack the in-game market on like a FanDuel or something like that, people are going to be able to attack it that way as well. But you're right. Don't go crazy. Just because there's a football game on tonight doesn't mean you need to bet it.
Yeah. And again, don't look into a ton of trends because like Art said, for years, these games were dead unders. Last couple of seasons, you had these teams from the West Coast coming out. The Chargers last year, I believe, we saw a ton of points with the total hovering right around this number, I think, 32, 33. And it did end up going over. Canales and the Panthers, and this is his third year now, I think. And I think he's 0-6 against the number in his first 2 preseasons. So Not exactly what I would consider to be Harbaugh-esque. Now, he's a guy you want to bet in the preseason. But I'll also say this. The Panthers have already lost significant guys in the, leading up in camps here to blown knees. One of their top wide receivers already got hurt. So I'm not sure, how long is Pickett even going to be on the field? Because he's the legit backup, right, to Bryce Young for Carolina. And it's likely going to be the Haynes King show here in the second half of this game. But how many guys is he going to really put in harm's way in the Hall of Fame game, in the first preseason game, or given he's already lost 3 starters here on both sides of the ball to knee injuries? Probably not much here, right, Art?
It's a great point. And obviously, I mean, they're going to get the extra game, but, now we have 3 preseason games basically for every team unless you play in the Hall of Fame game. So, yeah, I mean, the whole point of all these preseason evaluations is to get your team as healthy as you can leading into week 1. And I mean, listen, the Panthers are a team who are in a division where they feel they can win that division again. They can make the playoffs again. So they're a team who's obviously going to aspire to have a good, year around a 500 team, whereas we all know the Cardinals are going to have a lot of young players. They're going to throw a lot of people out there, probably try to find out what they have, because they're obviously slotted to be one of the worst teams, if not the worst team in the NFL.
Yeah, and keep in mind, Carson Beck going for the Cardinals here tonight. We already know who the 2 quarterbacks are going to be this year for Arizona. So if they keep a third, who knows? But this is really an audition for a 40-year-old Carson Beck. How long did he play in college? He played like 20 years in college, too, as well. Yep. But, yeah, Gardner Minshew is already the backup. We know that. So there's not a lot to decide unless, of course, injuries come in. So guys like Carson Beck and Haynes King are battling for showcasing themselves, really. So that's really what's going to happen here tonight. No Love, I believe. He won't play. I think they've already ruled him out as far as that goes for the Cardinals. So a lot of offensive line battles. There are some good battles here with guys trying to make the team for the Cardinals tonight. But all in all, I would not be expecting a whole lot of craziness here tonight, Art. I know the last couple of games have gone over, but, man, the more I look at this, the more I think the defenses are going to be way ahead of the offenses here tonight in this one. It's an under for me.
I don't disagree. I think the only way I could play the game is an under. I think we are due for an under in this type of game. And this time kind of feels like a 17-7, 13-10 type of game.
I agree. Big time there. All right. Good to talk NFL, though, because we have a game here tonight. Sharp bets here today. A lot of Major League Baseball. There was one or a couple of WNBA games. Don't know if the Sharps are on any of that. A CFL game, which is always fun. What do you think? What are you hearing, Art? Sharp bets here tonight on the card. What are you looking at?
I got 2 for Major League Baseball. We got money on the Marlins, money on the Padres. And I'll just mention this WNBA game. It's not sharp or anything, but it feels like there's been 2 groups battling this Aces Fever game. One team will go to the favorite as -1.5. One will go back to the favorite. Now it goes back to pick 'em. So it feels like they're battling this game. It's a huge total. The total's in like the low 190s, like 193, something like that. So obviously that's a huge matchup in the WNBA, but 2 sharp plays, Marlins, Padres.
Marlins and the Padres. All right, parlay of the day. Don't ask me what we said yesterday because I do not remember. But I think we won. Let's just go with we won so we can carry that over here to tonight's card. Did the Guardians win or was that the night before? I can't even remember.
Joe, the Guardians got screwed last night, and that was my play in the parlay of the day. They were up 6-5 in the ninth. They had 1 out to go. Or, I'm sorry, it was up 5-4 in the ninth, 1 out to go. They gave up the tying run. Mets win it in extras. I have no words for the Guardians.
Do the Mets understand they sold?
Yeah.
They're not, okay. And Guardians, do you remember you bought a lot of, you mortgaged the future for a lot of pieces and nothing. Absolutely nothing. All right. Not great there. So we'll have to readjust. Although I think mine was the Nationals and Phillies over, which took 19 innings, but we ended up getting there too at 14 runs. So what are we thinking here tonight? Our parlay of the day, you kick it off. Don't tell me Guardians.
It's definitely not even though. And listen, another team too, the Twins. They want to be buyers at the deadline, and now they're in Kansas City getting roughed up. So go figure with those two teams in the American League. I'm going to go to a game that features Walker Buehler as the pitcher, so that means I'm going to take the over. Give me the over in the Padres game.
That's a I don't hate that one at all, to tell you the truth. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do, too. I am not buying that we should be laying 330, 340 with the Phillies, who just lost, we said, last night in extra innings to a game.
Amazing.
Because Sanchez is going, like, you do the top 5 hitters in this Washington lineup are, I think, over 110 WRC plus against left-handed pitch. Yes, they lost a couple of key pieces, but they've been a damn good offense all season long here, even with the guys that are left. So call me crazy here. I'll take the 1.5, and it's probably a pretty good price with Washington. Let me see what the spread. Plus 130. Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not trusting a $3 price with Sanchez, who, by the way, is getting lit up by right-handers, and they got quite a few in that Washington lineup they can throw at him. Strange price, just absolutely strange. The Dodgers were a $3 favorite the other night. How'd that work out? Yep. And it didn't work out well for him yesterday either, by the way. So, predictive markets here. Let's talk. And because this was the big storyline yesterday, Art, in the predictive markets, the MVP in the National League. Pete Crow Armstrong actually overtook Ohtani yesterday prior to that game going on in the markets, where he is now the favorite to win the National League MVP. And both guys, I think, went 3 for 5. Both guys had a couple of home runs. I'm comparing the numbers from a hitting perspective. And I mean, it's kind of hard to tell the two guys apart. They're both having tremendous years. Should the pitching come into play here? Is there Ohtani fatigue, Art, you think, with the MVP in the market?
It's a great question. We have mentioned this, and I feel like when we talked a couple of weeks ago about this, and we said, hey, Ohtani obviously should still be the guy. You still have to factor in the pitching. I understand he's not going to pitch anymore, but those numbers still count. He still did them in games that mattered. So you got to throw that in there. But maybe we're going to get to the point where the voters say, hey, let's just compare them like we always compare MVPs. What are they doing against each other offensively? And they played each other yesterday, and I guess Crow kind of outperformed Ohtani, even though Ohtani was pretty good. It's crazy to think they're both like minus 110 right now. It feels like all the value is back on Ohtani because it's Ohtani. I mean, and Crow might win this MVP with not winning the division. So there's a lot of things to unpack when you look at that MVP.
Yeah, it's a 2-horse race right now. I mean, look at that, 53 and 40, 849. I mean, Pete Crow Armstrong, position player, of course, not a DH. The pitching should not come into any of it, Art. That should not even be up for the conversation. But you notice something? That's it. That's the only guys we got here are these two right now. It's a 2-horse race, and I do think it's going to come down to the end. It's going to come down to it. But I worry that we're going to start seeing a lot less of Ohtani on the mound. So it's good. He's going to have to outslug Armstrong, and I don't think he can. I just don't think it's going to happen this year, because I see them resting a lot of guys come the end of September there, Art, and Ohtani out of sight, out of mind. I think Pete Crow Armstrong's getting love for a reason. Guy's having an MVP year. Take Ohtani, take the pitching out of it. Ohtani, Pete Crow Armstrong, it's not easily Ohtani, right?
No, and I mean, obviously, Crow plays a top-tier defensive game, so that always helps his WAR.
Yep.
So we know, WAR is a big factor in a lot of these things. Some voters just blindly bet on WAR. They don't even do the eye test, which is crazy.
Nope.
But I'm not saying WAR is not a factor, because it is, but that's obviously going to bump up Pete Crow. And we know Ohtani's a good base runner.
Yep.
Crow's a elite base runner.
Yep.
So all that factors in to, once again, his WAR. I guess the Cubs don't have to win the division for him to win. I mean, usually you would like that, but there's no way they're catching the Brewers. So, I mean, you mentioned
they're
the
still
fatigue.
in a battle. I mean,
they are.
You know what I mean? They're still in a battle, and they have been phenomenal Going back to since July 1st, I think their record has been crazy. There's not a lot not to like here about what you're seeing from the Cubs. I don't like the pitching staff. I think the Brewers have them there, but it's not like the Brewers are 9 games ahead of the Cubs right now.
No, listen, Joe, if the Cubs win that division, that means they might have the best record in the National League. I think Pete Crow would be kind of a runaway at that point.
I agree. Yep, I agree. I think there's opportunity.
If they ever win that division.
Yep, I think there's opportunity there. But it's down to a 2-horse race. And again, we've talked about it in the American League. Yordan Alvarez is winning it. He's going to get the triple. There's no question about it. Could you imagine 2 DHs winning the MVPs, Ohtani and Yordan Alvarez? What a game has changed. We don't have any position players that are MVP-esque. You have to be a DH. Crazy. What is a game changed? All right, Art, before we get to our NFL awards segment, we're going to talk about the defensive rookie of the year. We talked about offensively yesterday, some of the guys that we liked in the market, but we do have a little business here, and who doesn't love to see the president leotard before he gets back here? So today, already one game underway here. That was one of my top plays here today, and it's a 1-0 bottom of the second. No, that's the Cincinnati game. I'm sorry. But 0-0 bottom of the second. Angels and Baltimore. I gave out the first 5 under. It was 5.5 in that one in a getaway day. I'm pretty happy with that play right now. I have a free play coming up in the Milwaukee and Pittsburgh game. You can grab that on my page. And I have one best bet tonight in Major League Baseball up there as well. WT.buzz/JR. All right. I can't look at that. Let me get a new picture up there, Art. There we go. The fact that was on for as long as it was is disgusting. Cincinnati, by the way, 1-0 over the Athletics, bottom of the second. So let's talk here, Art. NFL awards. We did talk offense. Now let's talk defense, because I believe it was it Schlesinger, the linebacker from the Browns, right? Last year, that was about a 30 or 40 to 1 price, I think, before the season started for the Rookie of the Year award. I believe Abdul Carter was the favorite last year, because it wasn't a great year for edge rushers and those, guys that would make a big. Abdul Carter was the guy. Everyone thought he was just. He was going to be over the top, and then he asked if, Lawrence Taylor, if he minds unretiring his number, which I still, to this day, is maybe one of the most least, aware comments ever. But this year's a little different here because, some obscure guy down the board, a linebacker, likely not going to get it done. Why? Well, I mean, look at what we've got going on here right now, right? We've got huge edge. This is a monster edge rushing class coming out here, Art, this year. Not to mention, you got Downs also could very well get into the conversation here. This is not a simple, all right, just get me the guy that's going to get the most sacks. We're gonna have some some guys that are gonna be getting money, and the prices are pretty crazy across the board here.
Yeah, you mentioned that there are pass rushers galore, Reese and Bailey and Bain, and you mentioned Downs as a safety, Sonny Styles, who can be very versatile and do a lot of things. Yeah, I mean, that guy on the Browns winning last year, I think I even saw him as high as maybe 50 or 60.
Oh, that's crazy.
I know. For him to win, the books got killed on that.
Yes.
And this year, like you said, I mean, you look at a guy like Bain, I think he's the favorite. I think him and Bailey are kind of up there as almost co-favorites at like 9-2, 5-1. Listen, I'm always going to throw a little love to my guy in the Giants, Reese at 8-1. Yes. I don't know. They have a lot of pass rushers on the Giants, so I don't know. Does he get as many opportunities? Because they're pretty stacked with those pass rushers, so he might be in like a rotation. The guy a little bit further down the board, who's actually Bain's teammate, plays for the Chargers, Mesidor. I like him. 15-1, 16-1, and he's old. I don't know if he's 25 years old. I don't know if he's going to be maybe physically and mentally intimidated by the NFL. He's coming in as a 25-year-old rookie and has some pass rushing skills. So I think value-wise, I'm looking at Mesidor on the Chargers.
I don't think that's a bad look here, but take your pick here, Art. There's a lot, and I mean a lot of opportunities here on the defensive side. And I think we're going to learn rather quickly. Did the Jets pick correctly? Art?
Make the right pick.
Did they make the right pick? Because I think, being with the right defensive system, with the right coach, all of that good stuff there, right? All of that matters, Art, does it not? I mean, who are we kidding? All of that matters there. I hope he is. I really do. I mean, my bias is I want to go ahead and back him, but like you said, there's a couple of other guys that are very much alive here. I think it's going to be great to watch the defensive side of the ball on a lot of teams with a lot of these young guys. And it feels like last year was about the offense. This year, to me, it's all about the rookies on the defensive side of the ball that can truly change, I think, what's going to happen for some franchises and some teams here. Got to go with my Jets, man. It's got to be. He's got to make a difference. He's got the right coach, does he not?
Sure. Absolutely. And they're going to turn him loose. There's no doubt about it.
Absolutely.
Say, hey, go get 10 sacks. And if he gets in that double-digit range, he's right there to win Rookie of the Year.
Putting him in a position to be successful. And the Jets don't have a lot of wins, so they want to win something. So that means winning the draft would go a long, long way to saving some of those guys there. So I'm with you. I like a lot of different guys, and that market is going to change. I bet you, Art, as we get through the first month of the season. So lots still to be determined there. We also have some college football to go over, including another college football win total to give out here. Art, interesting teams that we have decided upon here over the last couple of days. I love this one that you're about to lay out for us. Who is your college team, and what is the win total we need to look at here?
We're going to go, and I wish it was me going on vacation here, but we're going to Hawaii. We're going to take the under, and the under is 7.5. Now, shop around, though, because in Vegas at Boomers, minus 105 on the under. I've seen as high as minus 140 to the under, so always make sure you shop around. They're only returning 4 guys on offense, 3 on defense. And to me, the big thing is the defensive liability that they're going to have. They lost a lot of production off that defense. And then you got to go to the schedule. No FCS games. They don't play any gimmies. 4 of their opponents are off buys. They go on the road to 2 Power 4 teams. They have 6 home games instead of the 7. We know how good they are at home. And it just looks like they overperformed last year. Their win total was 5.5. They won 8 games, clearly overachieved. And now you're going to price them again at that number. To me, this is a 6-6 team. So give me the under 7.5 for Hawaii.
Oh, I like it. The under 7.5 for Hawaii. We should just have to go and watch a game now, Art. I think maybe that's exactly a WagerTalk. I have to send us out there to cash that ticket live and in person. All right, I like Hawaii. I'm going to go to the ACC because speaking of Haynes King tonight, starting for will play rather for the Carolina Panthers. He, of course, is coming from Georgia Tech, where it also felt like he played for 19 years. Brent Key has done an amazing job for Georgia Tech over the years. And he's been, I think this is his 4th year there now, 3 straight seasons where he's won at least 7 or more games. This is going to be the 4th. And Georgia Tech winning 8 games, it does not happen here a lot. And boy, what a season it would have to be for Georgia Tech in order to be able to rattle off. They went 9-4 last year. The win total is set at 6.5. History tells us Georgia Tech is not the school to have sustained success, and it's not going to help Brent Key and Georgia Tech that they only have 7 returning starters and just 2 of them are on the offense. Not to mention, look at his schedule, Art, in the ACC. They have 11 games against Power 4 teams, including Colorado and Tennessee in non-conference play. They do not avoid Miami and SMU. They do avoid, Miami and SMU, but they get everybody else. In fact, they're going to play 6 bowl teams from a year ago in 8 of the conference matchups. So now you're replacing both coordinators and the quarterback that has been there forever. I don't like their defense. I just don't see them. I think it's a step back year for Georgia Tech. At 6.5 wins, Art, sorry. Yeah, I don't. I think even Carolina and Belichick are going to have more wins than you. How terrible is that? But yeah, I think it's an under for Georgia Tech for me this year. But you did give Carolina Haynes King, and we get to watch him tonight, Art. So there's always that.
Yeah. Hey, listen, Joe, I'm with you. Anytime you replace a guy who's been basically the face of your program for the last handful of years and Haynes King and had a lot of success, it's hard to replace that, man.
No,
it really is. And you're not in the Sun Belt. I know the ACC is in the Big Ten, but they still play pretty good football there, so that's going to be tough for Georgia Tech.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be a very tough season for them. All right, we've got Major League Baseball rundown here, Art. A lot of afternoon games, like we said, so we'll go round table. We'll start with the later games coming up here. Why don't we go with the Tigers and the Mariners? Framber Valdez taking on Miller of the Mariners. Mariners got it done last night behind Brian. 4-2. What did they do here today with Framber on the mound there, the Tigers? Did they bounce back?
I never loved Framber, and I think all pitchers for the Mariners are always better at home. They're still in a dogfight here to win the West. Mariners need the game, so Mariners will win 2 in a row.
Don't hate that. Nats and the Phillies. I told you there's no way I'm laying 340, 350 with Sanchez and the Phillies here, even against Miles Mikolas. Feels like an over. That's kind of the way I'd look, but I do like that plus 1.5 there, Art, in this game. You want to lay to 350 there in a parlay?
No chance, but it's going to be in every parlay.
Every parlay. Yes, that's why books are in business. We know that. White Sox, Red Sox, pretty good battle. Luis Castillo making his debut here for the White Sox. Ranger Suarez for the Red Sox. Red Sox blanked the White Sox again yesterday, 4-0. Another Sonny Gray masterpiece. What do we get here in this one, Art?
It's hard to go against the Red Sox. They never lose, but I do think the value tonight is on the White Sox. Castillo comes over in his first start. I know a lot of first start guys with their new teams have not been that great, but maybe the Red Sox prices are getting a little inflated now. Honestly, I would take a shot with the White Sox.
Marlins at the Braves here. Listen, Martin Perez has been phenomenal. I know the Sharps are on Miami, but Martin Perez has been phenomenal. And guess what? Miami doesn't hit very well there. Left-handed pitching. Not good. I do think there is an opportunity here for Miami maybe to scrape out some runs. I just don't think it's going to happen against Perez. I think it's going to have to happen in the bullpen. Either which way, it's an under for me in this one here. The Royals are about to sweep the Twins, or are they? Walker against Bailey Ober. And by the way, Bobby Witt Jr. is back here, Art.
I mentioned this in the parlay today. The Twins, who wanted to be buyers and didn't want to sell anyone, now they're going to lose games. They have to, this is a must-win today. You can't go into Kansas City and lose like that. And I think they go to Milwaukee next.
Correct.
They go to play someone really tough next. So they could be in a real bad stretch here. This is a must-win for Minnesota.
It is. Padres and Diamondbacks, late game there. Listen, they're 5-4 right now. Diamondbacks have won 5 of the 9 games that these two teams have played. Get this, Art. They actually face one another in the final series of the regular season. It's likely coming down between these two teams here. We know the Cubs are going to get one. Philly's likely the other. So that third spot is going to come down to, I think, these two teams here. So what gives tonight? Walker Buehler against the rookie Drake.
Yeah, listen, I already said I like the over the game, but you mentioned this is a huge series, a huge last game, and then we got the big series to end it. And I'm with you. It really is between these two teams, unless you think the Cardinals can still hang around or the Marlins can still hang around, which I don't see. I lean the Padres because I think they can bounce back, and it feels like it will come down to that last series of the year.
I agree. It's exactly what it feels like, Art. And there you got it. Guys, all done. Good news. Yankees apparently... doctors have cleared for light workouts. Aaron Judge, we'll see what that means time frame wise. But the fact that he's allowed to at least do something is a good sign there. Guys, do not forget, hit that like and subscribe button. Become part of the WagerTalk TV family. It's our last Prez-free zone, at least until likely next week when he goes someplace else. But in the meantime, Prez will be back tomorrow. Art the Caesar, always a pleasure. We'll have more NFL talk. We'll have more awards markets, more college football win totals as we are T-minus 3 weeks away from week 0. Football is back. So, Art, enjoy the games, brother. Always a pleasure. We'll be back tomorrow with another edition of the best betting show ever. Good luck, guys.